on, fools.
What is this, episode 84? Oh, 10.
You'd see a little more gray.
10, yeah, well, what? I just told the wife, I was like, need a haircut. Bad. I just have her doing it, man. I was going and paying to get them done up, Cuts R Us or whatever. I mean, I'd go to your mom, but I don't bother with my little bullshit.
It's not a joke. So. My mom's done my hair my whole life because she owns a
Your mom's
salon.
Good. When I had long hair, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I cut it all off. I went to your mom, and I love your mom, dude. Your mom's amazing, and like you're very lucky. I mean, my mom's awesome too, but I mean, you're lucky. Your mom's really cool.
Thank you. Yes, she is. She's sweet.
And when I went to cut it all off, dude, your mom wouldn't do it. Like I sat down in her chair. Remember, it was back there.
Who did it?
It was I was in your mom's chair, and what was I can't remember his name now. I used to see him all the time at damn Cabana. David. Remember, her booth was here, and David's was over there. They had the room to themselves, kind of.
Yep.
And David's just over there being David. He always has somebody in his chair. And your mom just wouldn't cut it off. She kept like nipping at the bottom of, cutting off the ends. And I'm like, nope, all the way. She wouldn't do it.
She had to go next door.
So I was like, hey, do you guys got any drinks or anything here? I'll buy one. I was like tied down, with the thing all over me, and I had hair on me, so I couldn't get up and go walk. And your mom goes, yeah, what do you want? And I said, Diet Coke. And your mom was like, yeah, sure, and goes and gets me one. When she did, I grabbed her damn scissors and went right here. Your mom come back, go,
she
I
freaked.
said, yeah, now you got to cut it here.
You know what I would like to try, though? They have these places, I think one's called Roosters.
Yeah, the men's grooming centers.
Yeah, and so like you go there and they do like an old-fashioned, give you a hot rag over your face, and they can give you a straight razor, straight shave.
What I miss,
like to try that.
And when I lived in Melbourne, Florida,
you can even get a beer.
There was this barbershop, and it was a real barbershop, man. You walk in, they got deer heads, mounted on the wall. They got, everything on the walls regarding like just manly stuff. And these were old men who cut hair in the Navy, back in the Korean War, dude. And these guys, they got that hot little foam thing that they just pump it out, and it's hot foam for the back of your neck. They give you like a straight razor shave on the back of your neck. The good
sharpen
stuff,
it up on some leather.
Good stuff, man. They're all talking about, politics and just everything, man stuff. When I walked in there, I felt like my junk got bigger.
Make you
just from being around that much manliness.
Make you want to light up a big stogie.
It did, dude. I don't even smoke cigars. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, sip some scotch or something.
But I honestly felt, yes, exactly.
I've always wanted in my house, if I ever can afford such things, a proper like study. With the books.
With the books, yeah, but
and a nice desk, and then the chair with the the rivets in it, the red chair, and then
button tucks,
the green lamp on the desk.
Yes,
a fire,
with the little green cup. Yeah.
A fireplace, a little roll around bar with the
you want
with
an
the
old
scotch in it, in the
smoking jacket hanging on
and the ice cubes that you can see through, like the perfect. Square rock chiseled ice cubes, and
with an ice bucket with the tongs.
And I don't drink liquor, but
just have it prepared every time you walk in the room.
Yeah, even if I'm not gonna.
Oh, look, there's ice cubes in there. Clink.
Just sit
I'll
in
take
there.
3, and.
I would make fake documents if you would come over to my house, and we would sit around and just sign fake things.
Just smoke. We would find something we can smoke that resembled a cigar.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we could make a vape pen that looked like a real cigar that with a big lid up.
Oh yeah, nowadays those vape pens, they're looking like USB drives, USB sticks.
Yeah, I've got one, and I've actually been told by doctors practicing for many years, that if you can get yourself on the vape stuff, go for it. Now, I've done it. I quit smoking for 5 months solid, did not touch a damn cigarette. No cheating at all. And one day, it was one of those days when work was coming in. I was trying to take all of it I could get. I didn't have enough manpower. You know, it was one of those days, and
yeah.
so I called somebody I knew would come back to work with me, and they came right in, man. They were glad to get the call, and they come in, and I was stressed out. I said, man, let me get one of those, and I'll be damned if 30 minutes later I wasn't driving up buying a pack. Oh, I could kick myself, dude. Yeah, it got to where when you walk up to like a grocery store entrance or say a Walmart, you'd be like, God, I can't believe I used to do that. It was horrible. I mean, it really made me sick to my stomach. Just that smell that's at that entry. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Have you ever quit for any length of time?
Yeah, it smells like somebody lit a turd on fire.
The doctor said, look, there's hundreds of carcinogens in a actual cigarette. Vaping, it has literally vegetable glycol or propylene glycol, which is in basically everything that you eat, and then it has nicotine in it. So now what I do is I do like a 0 or a 3 milligram. I don't do high nicotines. And what I told the doctor, and I was like, my issue is it makes me cough. Like it feels like it's a dry hit. Like it's something. It's just not. It's a little bit different. It's not a warm hit.
Right.
Like off of a cigarette, it's a warm hit. So the temperature of that hit makes you. But when if I do it wrong, remember that video I messaged you and I was like, check it out. And I did it. I don't know if you remember that video. I let you see my vape pen that I got. Well, that's why. Well, the doctor said because that's water vapor. Your body's not used to it. Do it for 2 weeks. Right. Give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Your lungs are getting all that funk.
You're gonna cough those 2 weeks every time that you hit. No, it ain't that. It's you're getting used. Your throat's getting used to the water vapor. He said that'll make you cough about 2 weeks, but you're gonna adapt to it.
Yeah, I have fond memories of my grandfather smoking a pipe, and so if I ever do have a proper study, I might pick up the pipe, too. And you don't inhale that.
What do you put? Well, yeah, I know. Well, you just
like cherry tobacco or something. Just,
man, all this talking, dude, makes me want to spark up now. Jesus.
And you can make this face.
Popeye.
That.
Yeah, Popeye.
Come in here and sign this document. See. Yeah. When I'm old and I have gray hair and I'm going to have like a gold watch and a study, I'm going to invite you over and just completely be in another world.
I'm going to go just a moment. I have to go to my book. It's in my credenza. Like I actually want to just say that I have a credenza.
Just to say the word credenza.
Yes.
Because when else?
I don't even know what the hell a credenza is. I'm going to guess it's just like a fancier version of a desk. With like the tiny little drawers.
Yeah. You just sound sophisticated when you say it.
Well, my grandmother on my dad's side used to call a couch a Davenport.
Nice.
Have you ever heard that?
I'm going to start saying that, though.
Just go sit on the Davenport.
Hey, guys.
Don't be eating your food on the Davenport.
Hey, guys, you can sit there. The Davenport reclines. That sounds like a car.
Those words, yeah, it sounds like a car.
Didn't sell well.
Right, yeah, right.
The 1984 Davenport.
The 1968 AMC Davenport.
Yeah. Bring Me the Horizon. They released their first single off this new record, Mantra. Well,
Mantra.
In some interviews, they've said that this song, they chose this one to release first, but it is not a good representative or example of the rest of the album. Yeah. As they said before, they're trying to go more of a pop route. And this is kind of easing the audience into it.
So it's going to be heavier than some of the other stuff on the album.
Right. So the rest of it, I think, is going to keep veering off. But anyway, and then there's rumors circulating, of them on social media of him in the studio with Post Malone. So
I actually saw that.
I don't know who this guy is, but you were telling me about him, and now apparently he's gonna do a song with him.
Or he might even be on this record. Man, I feel just like a rock star.
It's when they change the way they enunciate the words to make them rhyme when the words don't rhyme by themselves.
Yeah, they rhyme the bouncing ball.
Yeah. So, and he might even be on this record. We just don't know because they've only released one song. So.
Yeah, I actually like Daddy Rock's version of that Rockstar song. They did it kind of a poppy, punky metal version of it. It's pretty good stuff. Speaking of bands I found that I like so far, I saw one today. I was on break, chilling at work, taking a little break, and I hopped across this video by a band called Like a Villain, and the song was called "I'm Fine." Not a lot of likes, not a lot of views, not a lot of subs at the moment on the video. That's kind of why I'm bringing it up here. These guys are talented. I could not find where they were from. Now they did put AZ in their name, so I guess maybe Arizona.
AZ.
Yeah, AZ. Okay. But I just like it, man. It's just kind of back to basics. It's not genty. It's not busy. It's not a lot of guitar solo work all over the place. It's just cool stuff, and there are parts in there in the vocals that remind me of Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine. I liked it a lot, and I'll throw a link in the description for anybody interested. You know who Austin Carlisle is, the I guess you'd say a former vocalist of Mice and Men. Mm-hmm. I think he's still down with his Marfan syndrome thing. But it's been rumored that last couple of days that he may be joining Linkin Park in Chester's position. Now, do you hear him in that? I kind of do. I kind of think he would really be a good candidate for that.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't heard much of Mice and Men.
Right. Well, he's
when they first came out, I had a couple of musician friends that were just stoked about them, and they let me hear it, and the vocals turned me off. Well, so I didn't go any further than that. A few songs.
Well, I mean, I think it would be wrong for Linkin Park to try to find somebody who sounds just like Chester, kind of like Alice in Chains. I kind of didn't think it was right that they found somebody who sounded just like Lane or tried to sound like.
But
Lane,
I'm not the one to ask, is what I'm saying.
Right,
I haven't heard enough of his vocals.
I think it would be interesting to at least hear a couple of songs anyway, even if they just had him like guest appearance kind of thing.
Have that?
He actually, I think he does a song with them.
Does he have that high register, like the crawling?
I'm
kind of thing?
I'm sure he could.
Okay.
Well, he came out, I guess, on Twitter maybe, and said, well, look, he's doing his own thing. Linkin Park at the moment, he's basically he's not been asked or anything that he's leading on to. That basically he just said, my own thing, yes. LP, no. So just to squash any rumors. But I kind of, when I first heard it, I kind of got excited. Well, that might be kind of cool. It is a different vocalist, totally, and it'd be neat to see what that band could do with his abilities. And part of me, when I thought about that, well, he's got these ongoing medical issues that seem to keep coming back on him, and that would make it very difficult for him to.
Yeah, he's got fluid leaking into his.
You've got to think
spine or brain or something.
That the management company has to be afraid to sign somebody like that. What the management company for a large name, a large franchise or brand like Linkin Park is. It's got to be very difficult. They have to be very concerned when they approach. Bringing on anybody like that who has these, known medical issues that could put the band out for months at a time.
Knowing that Mike Shinoda has been, doing small tours with his solo EP or maybe it's long play, I don't know. I wouldn't think they're making any decisions right now about that. I don't think they would pick anybody that has that type of medical issue. Can you imagine? As soon as they pick somebody, their shows are going to sell out. People are going to want to see them again. It's going to be a grueling schedule there with that first
Well, that's
run.
my point. That's why I said I would think that management would be very weary of signing, him because of his medical issues. Poor guy, Well,
just sad. Because the first tour, whoever they pick, that first tour is going to be grueling. Once because people are going to want to come out and see.
I think because when you his Marfan syndrome affects the connecting tissue, like you said, a couple episodes ago, and you got to think when you scream as a vocalist, when you scream like that, every muscle in your body is going into that scream.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't
Well.
if you're doing it properly. It should only come from your diaphragm.
Are you doing it live?
Yeah,
Huh?
should.
Well, there you
Now,
go.
but if you're doing it live and you're putting,
Yeah.
action in it, that's
Right.
a different story.
Okay. Well, it does take. Everybody does it differently, and I've seen some that can just, and just dig down and get it.
But now that's still athletic. You're right. Like if you're trying to put on a performance, so yeah, it's coming from your
Right, yeah.
diaphragm. But if you're moving,
Yeah.
doing a move at the same time.
So I mean, you've got to think. It's a very, very physical job. It's not sitting at a desk typing in numbers all day.
No.
This is quite the opposite.
I mean,
of
unless
that,
you're
so.
Elton John sitting on a bench or something.
Or Stevie Wonder,
Billy Joel.
Willie Nelson.
He don't play piano.
No. So he's been.
We're talking about people that sit down.
So,
Unfortunately, we lost John McCain, he was a POW
war hero,
for
man.
5 years.
The man did a lot of good for this country. I kind of think Trump was an ass about it. But
Yeah.
then again, what else?
Trump refused to fly the White House flag
After
at
backlash,
half-mast.
he brought him back down.
If I didn't already want to smack this guy enough,
They lowered it half. After like 24 hours later, they raised it back up, and after the backlash, they lowered it back down.
yeah.
It was dumb. It's so dumb. Just
When you look at George Bush, that's kind of like
which one? HW or W?
the most recent one.
W.
When you look at George W. Bush, that looks like a guy you might go hunting with. You can kind of relate a little bit.
Drink some beer.
Even though he's an idiot.
Smoke a little weed.
Yeah, have a beer with him. Obama, he looked like a guy, that if I was at a cookout, I'd roll up to him. Hey, man, how's it going? And he would be cool to talk to. Trump, sorry. There's no way to relate to that fella. I just don't see it.
Dude,
and
you
now,
could totally go out and bang porn stars together. Whenever a colleague like that passes away, like when my old boss passed away, like I said, we weren't fishing buddies when he did a couple of months ago, and I have a little grief regarding how things ended between he and I. I still thought about his loved ones, and the ones that he left behind who counted on him every day. And his early demise and what it may have done to them, So, just because me and him ain't, besties doesn't mean that I don't feel something. Trump said, "Well, I like war heroes who weren't caught." Like, what does that even mean?
it just boggles my mind that working class America identified with him enough to put him in office.
I think it was more of the FU factor.
Probably.
Because everything else that was available, short of, there were a few candidates that I kind of liked. After the fact, I'm kind of glad that they didn't get in, although I don't think they would be any worse.
A big supporter of his, Sean Penn,
He's not a supporter of his.
I'm just kidding.
But
Sean Penn is... he's taken to the television series market now. He's starring in a new Hulu
Walking Dead.
No, a new Hulu series called The First, which is about the first people to go to Mars. You can only get it on Hulu, which I don't have. But
I feel sorry for the 7 people who are going to actually watch that.
I'd love to see it. It's about space.
Hulu's cheap, dude. It's like $8. It's cheap.
Sean Penn's a really good actor. I'm surprised he's going to be part of a series, so I'd like to check it out. I think it'll be interesting. And if you haven't seen the Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis and Sean Penn, do yourself a favor and check that out.
They're putting out new ones, aren't they?
I don't know. This is old, but Sean Penn was on there, and it was
he?
funny. Yeah.
I think the best one to me of that was the Hillary Clinton, because it was during her campaign.
Yeah.
And he ran an ad. He said, "Just a second, we have to do a sponsor real quick, and it was Donald Trump's ad for president. That was the ballsiest thing.
Her campaign came out and said that they thought that was a bad move.
Obama did the show, and I'm telling you, Obama owned him. Like Obama was very poised and calculated and very, very well done on his show. Justin Bieber was on there.
Obama
too.
was great on everything,
was funny.
man.
Yeah,
he was great on comedian in cars getting coffee with Jerry.
That's why I voted for him in the beginning, man. And I'm not a big, of course, he was promising change, and all I got was change.
Killswitch Engage has been on tour, and recently Howard came out to do End of Heartache.
Yes,
with Jesse
I saw
Leach.
that. That was amazing.
And they had, I think, their own film crew that was filming it, so they'll be releasing something with that.
Awesome.
Which is cool.
I just seen that Jesse Leach is going to be live tomorrow.
So that'd
be cool.
Maybe they'll be releasing that soon. But you can catch it on YouTube too. People, film
I think it's very cool how those two worked together. I guess he filled in for Jesse or something for a couple albums or something. I don't know. It was
no. Jesse just quit the band.
Did he?
Yeah, Howard was the one, man.
Well, they're still good buds. Like there's no heartache between them.
No. No pun intended.
No end of heartache. Yeah. So what the hell is Pyragism?
Oh, on the paranormal forefront. Warning.
Conspiracy theory.
The Pyramids of Giza. They have found something interesting recently, that the chambers within it somehow concentrates electromagnetic fields deep down within. All of these type structures seem to be lined up astrologically with the heavens. It's pointing at stars and planets in certain seasons and times of the year.
I had heard that there were holes in the walls in certain areas of the pyramids that when you look out them, when they first found them, they're like, these don't align with nothing. But they looked at it, and that the holes were if they would shift it 15 degrees, that it would line up perfectly with certain constellations.
And that's the problem, is that this is
that
laser.
Would explain the Ice Age, I guess, back, this is back in the 80s, so we didn't know as much then about how to, So I think a lot of this was more or less like a theory thing and not so much evidence thing. But one of the theories back then was that the Ice Age occurred because the Earth did a 15-degree shift in a very short amount of time. And if you add that in, and those constellations line up with the holes, so
the holes
kind of makes sense.
He said
the holes in the wall, So.
Right. No, and that's the issue that people have that are skeptical of these things, is that it's built with like laser precision almost, and the way it's lined up, and
well, it's definitely weathered well. I mean, I think it's been up there for thousands of years, and it's still there.
Right.
Wish I could say that about my house. I get a good gust of wind comes across the cotton field, and I'm up on the roof. Son of a bitch. I'm not a roofer.
But what does amaze me the most is not really how did they do it, how did they construct the pyramids, but
why.
Some of these hieroglyphs, etched into the tunnels and things.
Hieroglyphics. Yes.
They have depictions of like a helicopter, a plane, something that looks exactly like a saucer UFO. That blows my mind. I'm sorry.
Kilroy was here.
I don't care who you are. You can't tell me that's not a helicopter. That's not a UFO. That's not a plane. Like,
right.
There's nothing else it could be.
Yeah. When you hear about an alien abduction, do you think of that as kind of like when somebody goes and adopts a dog at the pound? Like an alien abduction, they come and pick us up and take us with them and cure us and drop us back.
Cure us? That would be phenomenal.
That'd be neat, wouldn't
it? It's not out of the realm of possibilities. People getting abducted by aliens. I mean, there's quite a few good cases for that. However, there are also a lot that are probably sleep paralysis, which I've had. Have you ever had that?
What is that?
Okay, so the human body has a safety mechanism while you're in REM sleep. You know what that is? Rapid eye movement is what it stands for. Yeah. REM, the band.
That's me in the corner.
But no, it's a safety mechanism that the body has so that you don't act out your dreams in REM sleep. So you are paralyzed. And so you can wake up while you're in REM and you can't move, but you're awake. And it's happened to me numerous times, and it's very frightening.
I've never had that.
You can't even move your head an inch. You can't lift your neck off the pillow, and you're doing everything with all your power to try to lift your neck up off the pillow, and you can't do it. And there is a sense out of your peripheral vision that there's people in the room, that there's people standing near the bed or in the doorway, the bedroom, whatever.
And I think that fear would invoke your body to wake right up and go into action.
You just can't.
I've never had that. I do, like in the last couple of months, I'd say like half a dozen times. It'll be like right when I'm going to sleep. I might have been, it feels like I've been asleep for 10 minutes, if that. But you'll just be out somewhat like maybe 5% still conscious. And you,
oh yeah,
like you feel you're falling or something. Like you jump.
I feel like you're falling.
And I'm like, did I wake the wife? No. Man, what the hell? What the hell? Like, what's wrong with me?
One of the public's CEOs or presidents, invested
down in Jacksonville,
$800,000 to stop medical marijuana in
Florida. In Florida, yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I came across a news story saying that the FDA is now approved to do further studies into mushrooms fighting depression.
Psilocybin mushrooms.
Psilocybin, that's right. You know, Creed. That was
my own prison was
that.
He had taken mushrooms and he was dying. I don't know if he took too much or what.
He overdosed on mushrooms and he wrote My Own Prison, their first single.
Should have been dead on a Sunday morning.
Banging my head.
No time for morning. Ain't got
or a haircut. Lewis Black's coming in town and
as opposed to Barry White.
He's doing a weekend show, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal or something. So,
really?
Yeah.
I'm not doing my Lewis Black impression. I know you're like trying to invoke that.
It's next month.
It's not happening.
It's next month. I saw him when he came here a few years back. It was good.
I was at a Starbucks. And I turned around. And what did I see across the street? Another Starbucks. Okay, so I did my Lewis Black impersonation. Okay, Google.
I think you've got the wrong assistant. I once knew a girl named Siri. She always spoke to me clearly. She'd say with a grin as she'd wipe of her chin, "Gulk, gulk, 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 gulk."
You ever like text somebody and be like talking about like work or something and then accidentally, I know you've gotten them from me. You've gotten them off of me. You go, oh, sorry, that was from my brother.
Here's what I hate. When you're typing and you go to edit it, but the part you want to edit that you have to put the cursor on is right near the send button. And you're like,
well, I don't remember.
And then I've done it before.
Yeah, it's what you hit it. You begin over here and you slide over.
Especially if you say something, if you're typing something out of anger or something, then you're like, wait, I don't want to say that. And then you go, whoop. Oh!
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could. You know, I figured out how I want to die.
Because this is something that is just a dilemma.
I don't mean on stage. People. I mean, I figured out how I want to die. Yeah, it'd be a news story.
Because that's the dilemma.
It would make everybody laugh.
What? Okay, go for it. Let's hear it.
I want to be beaten to death
with
a life preserver.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Kind of ironic.
Yeah. You're welcome. Did you hear about the parsley farmer? He got sued. They garnished his wages. My wife won't let me go to the grocery store anymore. She says the cashiers keep checking me out. Checking me out because that's their job, is to check me out at the register. All that kind of stuff. I wonder if people who have impotence get erections in their sleep. Do you realize that we are the same age that our parents were when they were our age? To whoever stole my antidepressants, I hope you're happy.